granniopteryx, granniopteryx. She knows the truth, she's linking every link.
So, last Sunday, a fairly sizable group of Scottish Jews and non-Jewish sympathisers gathered at a previously arranged time outside the Scottish Parliament to commemorate the Hamas pogrom in Israel 2 years ago. However, this turned out to be something more than a memorial for a 2-year-old event, as 3 days before its scheduled start, there'd been a murderous attack on Jews at prayer in a Manchester synagogue on the holy day of Yom Kippur. With the wound of that still bleeding in the hearts of most people of goodwill, Jewish or not, John Swinney, the first blunderer of Scotland, stood on a platform and addressed the assembled crowd. Before I play you that video, I shall tell you I'm granniopteryx, and I hope you will like this video, as unpleasant as the subject is. Please share it. Please check that you are still subscribed to my channel, if you are subscribed, and if you're not, this is your chance. And if you want to help me financially, that's fine. Lovely. Don't hurt yourself doing that. All the links to the various platforms you can use are in the description. Okay, let's get on with talking about the first Muppet's speech.
Recognition of a Palestinian state, because I think it is the because I believe it. Because I believe it to be the necessary route to securing peace in the Middle East. And all of us who want to live, and all of us who want to live, all of us who believe in the sanctity of human life, believe there must be peace to enable human life to be protected. Those values will underpin all that I do as First Minister to bring our communities together and to ensure that everyone in our society can live in peace and solidarity and safety in our community. And those will be the actions that my government takes. On this occasion, I stand with you in remembrance. Of those who have lost their lives. I stand in solidarity demanding the return of the hostages, and I stand with you in demanding peace for all of our communities, and that we may live in harmony together in our country. Thank you for enabling me to speak today. Thank you.
Absolutely unbelievable. Although, to give him his due, he did get the word hostage right and not sausage. But then confusing haggis with hostage is probably a bit more difficult. Anyway, I've never seen a crowd of Jews in this country so angry. Remember, I was on the anti-Semitism march in London a few weeks ago, and the only people doing any serious chanting and hollering were the Iranians. There were a few tries at a chant from the Jews, but it didn't get very far. And even at the end, when speeches were delivered in Parliament Square, some of which were detailing recent examples of gross injustice and really pretty nasty anti-Semitism, together with serious fears for the future, the response was a Largely respectful silence from the crowd, a few suppressed groans every so often, and occasional applause, maybe a few flaps of a flag. But that response at Holyrood on Sunday, that was a bit unusual, and it's obvious that the chief monster, Swinney, expected a quiet and respectful reaction to his speech, in which he told the Jewish community that the people who want them dead will have a state recognised by his administration. He's not alone, of course. Did you pay attention to the way Keir Starmer put it in his commiserations over the Manchester business? First of all, let's put it in context. Do you remember how he reacted after Southport? He would not tolerate any attacks on Muslims. That was the first thing he was talking about. And any white people, and I mean white people, far-right thugs is Starmer's code for working class white people, isn't it? Any white people who showed even the slightest inclination to demonstrating anger about what had happened to a class full of little children having a summer party break, all those white people, far-right thugs, would be dealt with the full force of any law he could muster with which to beat them. But notice how he addressed the Manchester horror. "We will put our arms round you," he said to the Jews. Haven't Jews suffered enough? No. But apart from that, "We will put our arms round you," he said. Nothing at all about Muslim death wish fanaticism being dealt with by the full force of the law, was there? No mention of Islam at all, so far as I remember, and if I missed that, tell me in the comments. So, our leaders feel that, well, perhaps Jews need a bit of affection, but we mustn't disturb the Muslims now, must we? So, back to Holyrood. In a speech which was supposed to be about commiseration over a truly sickening event, John Swinney started off by talking about recognition of the very people who had raped, pillaged, murdered and tortured their way across southern Israel just 2 years before. And it's obvious that he expected a respectful silence from the assembled Jews and their non-Jewish friends. The question is, would he have gone out to a group of Muslims on a Palestine rally to tell them that since Israel had been so horribly attacked, the Scottish government were going to reaffirm all cultural and trade relations with them, and that the only way to achieve peace in Gaza would be for Muslims to recognise Israel, to stop bringing up their children as terrorists, to concentrate on building shopping malls instead of terror tunnels, and to take tourist dollars, not hostages? Yeah. What do you think the crowd would have done if he'd have spoken to them like that? He would not have dared to say that to a Muslim crowd. And there's your difference. At least that was the difference until recently. Looks to me like British Jews are waking up a bit. OK, till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.